First question. Why do you think fans love Wanda and Vision and their relationship so much?
Think fans love Wanda and Vision's relationship because it's a really pure expression of love um and there's something that's really in the films has been really soft and gentle and born out of this AI character um understanding how to feel. And so I think that's kind of just a beautiful story to get to watch. And there's something really gentle between the two of them. And now we get to launch them into a completely wild and different world and watch them be as normal as they can be in their wildest dreams.
Yeah. Where do we find Wanda and Vision as this series kicks off?
We find as the series kicks off, Wanda and Vision living in the suburbs as as two people in a relationship, and they are just trying to pass as normal as possible and hope that no one discovers their secret of being superheroes.
What do you think when you first heard, what did you think when you first heard about the concept for WandaVision?
When I first heard about the concept for WandaVision, it was with Kevin Feige and Lou Esposito, and I immediately just thought it was going to be a very fun and challenging way to tell a story. It's an amazing opportunity to kind of reinvent the wheel, and we get to challenge new audience members, hopefully who don't know Marvel as well, and then we get to challenge our fans um, to watch a story unfold in a totally different way, but it is still 100% MCU through and through. Um, but yeah, I immediately fell in love with the idea the moment I heard it.
How did you prepare for the classic sitcom style?
The preparation for all the sitcoms was started with boot camp. It started with a Matt Shackman, our fearless director leader, boot camp with Jack Schaefer, our creator, and we, as an ensemble, as a cast, we watched every single direct reference for each decade, and so we kind of associated each episode with one sitcom, and we would watch those episodes together. And then on top of it, you as an actor, we're trying to tell these stories authentically through sitcom. So we're trying to recreate a real sitcom show that could have been filmed with the style and the tone and how we walk, how we dress, how we sound, and your mannerisms. And so that would change decade to decade. So is that's physical, it's costumes, it's speech, it's where your voice comes from. So there's a lot of fun dorky actor preparation that you get to do. And then the moment it comes into Malcolm in the Middle, everything becomes like super cynical. And then that transition was also equally as enjoyable as referencing Bewitched.
Great. Can you describe the efforts behind the scenes, from costumes to production design to dialect coach, to ensure the classic style was authentic throughout each era? And in addition, do you have a favorite costume?
The effort that went into every single department on this show was beyond anything I had seen. The thing that's so lovely about being a part of the Marvel universe is we the amount of time that is put into and detail that's put into our sets, that's put into our costumes. It's all It's some of the best craftsmanship that I've seen on a set ever. And it always continues to blow my mind in many ways. And then to take all that craftsmanship and really make it specific to every single decade. It was beautiful to watch, to pick out these vintage fabrics, and even just building the underpinnings of the costumes, to think about the wigs and the different cuts you had to have a certain type of curl level, and the different you don't even think about this, but the different types of false eyelashes that you'd wear, the shape of the nails. Like, there's so much detail that went into what you see, and even like the love that went into our set design and our props. We have one plant that Catherine brings over in the first episode, and that plant grows in every single episode, and you maybe would completely miss it, but it's there. So there's just all this, like, and our props guy, like Russell, he puts all these Easter eggs all over the place for our fans. And so the whole thing's just been kind of miraculous to watch it all come together. And I think it was one of the hardest jobs for every person on this show, because of having to change so many decades. You don't just have like one decade that you can rely on. Just even doing exterior scenes, and how the picket fences have to change and the flowers have to change. So you just don't think about those things. I would say my favorite costume was the 70s, because I loved wearing a pregnant belly. I just thought it was so funny to watch, just like a dress spread and then have two legs sticking out from the bottom. So I think that was my favorite costume.
Okay, that's great. Let's do this one again. How did the 9-episode series format allow you and Paul to explore your characters?
The 9-episode format of our show allowed for so many in-depth realizations for both my character and Paul's character. And I truly believe that in from the first episode to the last episode, the whole fabric of this show is built on what we have already made. And so to get to kind of burst that open and get really specific with her life experiences and his throughout this show was really an incredible opportunity for both of us. And it allowed for us to complicate these characters even more than we've been able to. So it was, and to get to work with Paul is always the greatest joy. Yeah.
Okay. Describe the experience of shooting episode 1 in front of a live audience.
The episode 1 being shot in front of a live audience was so terrifying, but it was so fun. There was so much adrenaline. It was a perfect way to thrust us into sitcom land. It really ripped the Band-Aid off. And it was complicated though, because it's not like theater. You're not playing to an audience, you're playing to the camera, but there is an audience that you kind of want to play to. So it confused my brain a bit, but it really launched us bravely into full throttle sitcom mode. And it's an experience I'll never have again, I don't think. So it was just I'll keep it close to me for a long time.
You've touched on this a little bit, but can you talk about working with Paul for this series?
Getting to work with Paul for this long has been so phenomenal. He and I think we both feel very lucky to have one another. We work very similarly, and we discovered that during Civil War. I asked him if he could run lines with me, or he asked me for something we were shooting next week, and we had both already memorized our scene, and that's not the norm. And so with this show, he and I were able to constantly communicate and plan. And Matt Shackman and Jack Schaefer were so welcoming of our ideas of what was already there. And he and I just like, that was just how our brains worked every morning, was just trying to plan for what was happening next week and how to do it or how to make it better or what we loved about it. And um, it's so much fun to get to work with someone who is as invested and excited, or even brings that out in you because of their own investment. And so it's a great experience getting to work with Paul, and also he's fun and funny and kind. And it's really important for us when we're the lead actors on a set for people to treat each other kindly. And hopefully that makes people enjoy their jobs and their lives more. And so I think we try to put that out in the crew every day as well. And I think it ended up being a really special experience for all of us, even with all of the crazy challenges that were thrown at us during filming.